Samaran, guys. Still not feeling 100%. But I said, let me rather just work from home and then to look lala in between, you know. As the video today is just me wanting to, I guess, be vulnerable. I got a great, very warm message, Izolo, on Instagram in my DMs. And let me actually just read it, and I just want to talk through it. So it says, "Evening, Mr. Mlotra. Don't know your target audience, but I'd love to know, or I'd love if you could help us young ones," and in brackets it says 18 plus, on adjusting to being an adult. Most of my peers, when I look at it, we come from single parent households. We wish to have that person to help us navigate throughout life, you know. And it hit me, man. It really hit me when he spoke about this. It's a young gentleman, and we got into talking, and I'll just read certain snippets of certain things that we discussed. But the whole thing about adjusting to being an adult or to adulthood, it's something that is it's such a huge leap, going from being in the confines, is that the word? Being in high school, and then boom, you are competing with people who are 10 times or 10 years older than you, 20 years older than you. For some of us who are very privileged, we go from high school and then we get into higher institutions of learning, or whatever it's called, a varsity, and we also in some way shielded. You know, the varsity that I went to was very shielded. If you went to a varsity like, let's say, a UJ or one in a big city, it might not have been as shielded as the one that I went to. But then by the time you leave again and you're like in your early 20s, then if you manage to get yourself into an internship program, you're also kind of shielded in life. But that's not how majority of South Africans actually live. A lot of us would just finish matric, boom, humble sebenze clicks, you know, and then you have to compete with guys who when they're 19 and Mchita is 35, you know. And adjusting to being an adult is incredibly tough. So my response was, you know, in terms of his question, I was like, look, it's such a deep one to me. It's such a challenging one, because when he speaks about being brought up in a single parent household, myself and my siblings, we were raised by my mom. Our upbringing wasn't as rosy as many may assume, you know. We've done many videos, it's been documented, whether it's on my brother's platform, on my platform, that the father that we did have was very abusive, physically, emotionally, psychologically, didn't contribute financially. So being in a single mother household, as in one, and we've got three kids, you know, was challenging. It was very challenging. So we understand that. We understand the plight of many South Africans that didn't have the luxury and the privilege of two parents. But then again, where it also becomes a challenge is that she's got two sons, you know, out of her three kids. So if you've got two sons, how do you raise them to become men when you've never been a man yourself? Our mothers do an amazing job, you know, our moms, our aunts, our grannies, whoever you may be living with, to try and raise you as best as they can, you know, but they can only do so much. You know, I always say to sisters that grew up with single moms, I'm like, it's always a blessing, I would believe, if I had to choose being raised by a single mom, if I'm a girl, and then if I had to choose, I would be a girl being raised by a single mom. If I'm a boy, I would be raised by a single father. Why do I say this? Because you kind of get to see the best attributes and the worst attributes of your gender, you know. So if I'm a young girl and I'm being brought up by a queen in Bogoto, I saw my mom having to battle through life one man and raise this. If I'm a girl, I'm seeing this, and it can be inspirational, and it can be like, wow, look at how amazing women are, you know. If I'm a boy, I'm like, where are the guys, you know? And on top of that, obviously our mothers are hurt, our aunts are hurt. So they're also talking shit about a lot of males, rightfully so and wrongfully so in certain cases. So now you're a young boy and all you are hearing from or mama is how crap men are and how crap your father is and how shit your gender is. You know, so if you're a young boy, boma 4, boma 3, boma 5, boma 11, and all you're hearing are the negative connotations around men, you know, that's your formative years. So you start building this whole thing about men aren't shit, man. And you're a man, so clearly now you're not shit. So I see a lot of sisters when they grow up, you know, as they grow up. That's why I believe that, generally speaking, our sisters are doing better than our men in terms of what the world deems success, in terms of career, in terms of being able to get cars, homes, whatever the case may be. You know, they're graduating, they top of their classes. There's, you know, if I look at it, I might be wrong, but if you look at your Vits, they're graduating more black female doctors than any other group of people, you know. So again, our sisters are doing very, very, very well, which is great. But a lot of it, I think, is also because they got to emulate. I'm talking about the ones that grew up in single parent households. They got to emulate and see how amazing queens how amazing women can be. And teen, as young boys, we never got to see that. So it's very, very tough. And I was reading this, I was like, hey, bruh, you know, like, I can feel you, you know, I can feel what you're saying, #no Diddy, you know, but I feel what he's saying. And I was like, look, I'll support in every way, you know, but again, guys, I'm 35 for 3 kids, running a business, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing, you know. So when I get those DMs about people saying, hey, could you just make content around how to navigate into adult? Hey, what about me adults, mina? Adults. Hey, I have no idea. I have no idea how to navigate. I'm just literally trying to take one step at a time. You know, there's that great book about the horse, the mole, and the boy, or something along those. And the boy said, hey, it's too dark as they navigate through the forest. I can't see where I'm going. And the horse says, don't worry about where you're going. Can you see your next step? Just focus on your next step. So for me, being a father, being a partner, being a brother, being a sibling, being a son, being, you know, all of these things, I just trying my best. And if anything, I make mistakes, and I can tell you now, I probably make more mistakes than the person next to me. I think, or at least I speak about my mistakes more than the person next to me. I read some of the comments in one of the videos I did. Yeah, but they were going at me. Hey, when you do nothing, when you poo, when you slim, when you this, you that. And I was like, but I'm at least putting myself out there, you know. So again, when I do make mistakes and people correct me, then I learn and I grow. Some people make mistakes privately. They never really know what they did wrong and how they can fix it. So they kind of repeat the same mistakes. Some of us, when we make mistakes, they're big mistakes. You know, when I make parenting mistakes, you know, they're like, hey, fathers don't. I was like, hey, Nyazam. When I make relationship mistakes, hey, you, da, da. When I make business mistakes, yo, so again, you get to learn from those type of things. But I was trying to say to him, hey guys, like, we all just trying to figure this out, you know. So for me, I've learned with the years to just give myself a bit more grace and tend to be a bit more patient and kind to myself, you know. Before, I was very, very hard on myself. I was like, by this age, I'll be doing this, and by this age, I'll be there, and then by that age, I know Elon Musk is so. Life will humble you. You'll realize that, hey, bro, you're not as deep as you think you are. You know, you're not that slick, bro. You know, so I've learned to be humble in taking these slow steps to get where I need to get. And I know I'll get there, you know, but again, I just need to be patient with myself, you know, because again, I'm not the perfect father. I try to be a good dad, but I'm not. And I'm telling you now that as my kids grow up, they'll call me out on my shit. I'm not the perfect partner. I try to be a good partner, but I'm furthest thing from being perfect. I'm not the best boss. I can be a cunt at times. I apologize, I know, but you know, but I'm trying. I'm Yazama, guys. So I was saying that, and then his response like really broke me, because I was like, look, dog, I'm not trying to be a hero, you know. And he's like, you may try not to be, but in my mind, in my imagination, I see you as the man I would like to be. You know, and I was like, geez, bro, that's like really warm and fuzzy. And I was like, I'm truly appreciating this. You know, how every day I found a laptop, where my, hey, oh, it isn't my China. you know. But like, he was saying all these kind words, and I was like, hey bro, like, I'm so appreciative of your kind words. You elevating me, you making me feel like my chest up, you know. Yeah man, you that man I'm trying to be like, you know, you my role model. He's saying all those amazing words, and in my mind I'm like, bro, you can't be putting a broken man on such pedestals, you know, because a lot of these young guys go into the game putting these broken men on pedestals until these broken men fuck their girls. I know so many guys, so many young guys. I know 22, 23. Khotman is like 35. Hey, Khotman, I appreciate you, dog. Hey, I look up to you, bruh. Hey, you know, you my role model, dog. This is my girl. Upalesa. Khotman says Upalesa. DMs. Understand, we're all going through this journey, guys. We're all going through this journey. None of us are heroes. None of us are perfect. We make mistakes. So when you do give us that love and we appreciate it, understand, Uguti, as much as there's aspects of Upensing that might resonate with you, and you might be like, I like that. Understand, Uguti, that is just one side. There's the other sides that might be dog shit. There's the other sides, you know. So when Amachita give you that advice, we are tata, we are lalela, we are processor, and you see if it applies in your life. And you keep it moving. You know, they say you need to eat the meat and spit out the bones. So understand, Woodsy, when we go and we're giving these compliments, and I appreciate them and I love them and I'm so grateful. But understand, Woodsy, namhlanje you see me as Superman, and then when you see me as Clark Kent, then all of a sudden, I don't do flop. We see it all the time on social media. You know, all of a sudden we praise, hey, let's say a soccer player, whatever the case may be. Hey, this guy, hey, just take a match, hey, you role model. Next thing, I want a useless man, I want a deadbeat, what. Now, it's all look, got the same praise. Not being fair to him and say, look, he's amazing and he's got challenges that he's trying to overcome. You know, he is a phenomenal soccer player that we respect, but he won't always be as fast as he is now and as accurate as he is now. Soccer, like any sport, goes through waves, like business, like relationships. So he might have had a good game last week. Maybe this week he might not have a good game for many reasons. He might be amazing as a husband, but he's actually a dodgy dad. He might be an amazing dad, but he's actually a dodgy husband. There's so many aspects to people, so we can't just put them in a box and say, that guy, my hero. You know, so I was taken aback with the kind gestures, and I always tend to just say, thank you so much for the kind words. And then I'm turned would say, carry it. Hey, cheers. Your image represents greatness in my eyes and many others. Thank you again. I truly appreciate those amazing words. Sure, we may be a bit young for your content, but you'd be surprised at the value. Again, my stuff is just me trying to navigate through my own life. So it's not pitched at a certain age, at a certain demographic, at a certain maturity, financial space. You know, so it's not like our parents are trying to speak to Zulu people. Nah, I'm just a Zulu guy. Our parents speaking to people that understand English. Parents are speaking to guys that have I'm just trying to navigate my own life. So I'm not pitching anything. I don't have an audience that I'm trying to speak to. So he says you'd be surprised with the value, and again I appreciate. That is why I ask if you could lean on our age about few topics, maybe growing up, or what you've witnessed, and trying to again get into the roots of becoming what our fathers couldn't be. So I want to do a video, and I want to do a video about it's called the Peter Pan effect, if I'm not mistaken. Peter Pan effect. I think it's called the Peter Pan effect. The Peter Pan syndrome, you know. So it speaks about the challenges of managing being an adult and the responsibilities around men who stay boys, you know, or boys that stay boys. They never grow into that level of being men, you know. So we see a lot of these guys in their late 20s, mid 30s who still stay at home with their mom, you know, sahlala ku back room or the room that he grew up in. And you always ask yourself, what happened, bro? You know, at school you played first team rugby, you know, you were this, you this. What happened? Why couldn't you outgrow and get to that next stage, you know, where you go from being a 19-year-old, an 18-year-old, into being a young adult, into being an adult with the responsibilities and accountabilities that come with it, you know. Some that managed to take one step out, in cool it down, Marco was HOD, scale, whatever. All of a sudden, also go to room, so I want to talk about the Peter Pan syndrome. It is something that I've spoken about before. I remember I studied it back in varsity. So it's something that's very near and dear, and I think a lot of us men go through it. And I'm not saying it's only to men, but in today's society, it's largely men who don't get into that stage where, or they remain boys for so long. You know, you ask yourself, why is it that even my husband, who's very responsible and who's very accountable and who actually does very well, but why is it that he still gets lost in his PlayStation life and, you know, likes to chill with his boys? It's all those things where we don't really outgrow certain stages. And men, you'll never get a man who outgrows every stage. So forget about that. You know, we still cry when our soccer team loses. So shush you, you know. But with that being said, just try to better understand why some never let go of the majority of things that they should have let go at a certain age. Why some, even though they're 35, they still speak about the high school rugby days as if they were playing it yesterday. Why some guys still want to dress in a specific way or drive certain cars. It again speaks to certain aspects of the Peter Pan syndrome. So I'll do a video around that, and hopefully in that I'll address that question where he was asking me, what can I assist in navigating the guys, I would guess between the ages of, let's say, 17-ish, grade 11 to about 20, you know. So if I can maybe hit that band, you know, maybe 22, hit that band and speak about the Peter Pan syndrome and how you can get out of it, you know, and how people that I know personally that didn't have certain privileges of going to university and didn't get any certain privileges of having well-off families or whatever the case, how they got out of it, you know. The quick fix, just for those quick snippets, that a lot of it has to do with gym, you know, watching your body transform from being a boy's body to being a man's body. Those type of things slowly affect, you know, understanding that you need to start working, you know, understanding that you need to take multiple responsibilities. You know, that's part of being a man. You know, you can't just be like, back in high school, you just be like, scale home. Sports, scale sports home. You know, no. When you're being a man, you need to be able to gym, span, shaingati, lad. Gym, span, shaingati, nyapega. Check like, as a man, you need to understand those things. So I'll try in my upcoming video about this to actually address the whole Peter Pan syndrome. But yeah, man, he said a lot of amazing things, and I'm not one to dwell over the positives, because I've realized that if I do that, I also force myself to dwell over the negatives, you know. So as much as I hate reading negative comments, I also sometimes feel a bit of type of way when I get the positive comments as well, you know. But anyway, we continue this chat, and this is just chat after chat about what he's planning to do, and, you know, wanting to go back to scale and upgrade his marks. And I was like, that sounds like a great idea. You know, he speaks about the varsity choices that he's looking at, and his religious life, and I'm like, these are all the best things, you know. But one of the points or comments that I actually wanted that I spoke to is saying to him, look, what would be amazing is if next time I'm in his city, we link up with the Majita, you know. So we find, whether it's a scale, a church, a park, whatever the case is, where he tells his gents, hey, listen, we're coming together as a Majita, you know, different age groups, you know, so that it doesn't just come from one person as if now I'm speaking the gospel truth. No, I'm speaking one experience, my experience. I don't know Pendugan experience. I don't know Usbong Seni's experience. I can tell you from my point. And if we have different guys coming through, you know, different ages, them asking certain questions, then it's and, you know, the old teaches the young, and then the young also teaches the old, and say, hey, it's okay, no sharp, but nani man flop. you know. But anyway, that was the whole chat just around navigating. And Lopudilona who actually DM'd me. Guys, please DM. Please DM. I actually get a lot of DMs, and I really try to get back to as many of them as possible, especially ones that actually send me like potential topics, because then I want to address them. You know, I want to address them from where I see fit and my own experiences. Again, I'm not saying I know everything. I'm not even saying I know anything. I'm just saying, I'm just speaking from my own walk. Correct me if I'm wrong. Teach me something. You know, if you agree with me in the comments, say, don't I agree? If you disagree, say, I disagree, and this is why. Mrs. Yakusana in that type of way. But please make sure that you share this video. You make sure, you hit that subscription, and that notification bell. Anyway, guys, again, Tanda, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Ciao.